today and the price predictions, the massive price predictions of Bitcoin for today. It's Wednesday, I think it's the 16th of October, 2024. For those of you who are watching this in the distant future, if for some weird reason you ever are. So, right now, if you look at the daily chart, right, and you look at it with the proper volatility, entropy, probability, and statistics tools from Alpha Trading, you'll see that the volatility is, depending on your settings, but basically giving you a read that's suggesting a little bit of mixed volatility reads across the lengths, and that is good for low time frame scalping. Right? They're not all going to the same direction. They're not indicating the same direction. Right? The low, medium, and long length volatility reads and correlations are slightly different. And you can see also it's well above the power mean ribbon and above the reverse Fisher line, which is really good. Now, can it come back down and touch the power mean ribbon and even dig through it again before bouncing right back up? And yeah, it certainly can do that. Does it mean it has to do that today? No, not necessarily. It could easily be that it does not do that, right? That it stays above it for a while, even for many days. And if that's the case, well, then we might seriously see some nice moves continue to the upside. You know, they could go over the coming days, tap that power mean ribbon and bounce off it. It does not have to go down just because it touches the power mean ribbon. Now, at some point, obviously it will, you know, go back and touch like the reverse wave trend, etc. But it doesn't mean it has to happen immediately. If you look at the VRE charts, right, you'll see, right, on the Alpha Trading VRE chart, you'll see very clearly that there are very nice targets above and below. So if it goes down to the downside, yes, down to the downside, as opposed to down to any other direction. If it goes to the downside, it certainly could revisit areas where it was yesterday before the little pump and dump and climb back up. Right? Yes, it could easily go to 65K. There are targets down there, 65.2, 65.1. There are definitely good VEPS targets in that area. Okay, does it have to go there? No, it does not have to go there. Could it go there? Yeah, it certainly could. On the lower time frames, you'll see, obviously, probabilities changing, quicker than on higher time frames, and you'll see entropy going in and out of trending moves and random walks much quicker than you will on the higher time frames. It's worth noting that on the higher time frame, on the daily, for example, Bitcoin is in a trending move for the second day in a row now, and it's still to the upside. At least the last I looked at it, about hour ago. So it is in a trending move. It's still to the upside. It's still indicating it has room to run, and it certainly does have room to run if it wants to. And on the VRE chart, like I said, if you look at the VRE chart, you'll notice that if it punches up and gets past the weekly level where it found a lot of sell pressure yesterday, after that quick little pump shortly after traditional market open, right? If it manages to get above that weekly level today and not just shoot right back down beneath it, well, then you've actually got targets well up above. You've got a daily sell level that's up above that. It's the first daily sell level of the VRE. And then above that, you've got the monthly level. It is the first monthly level above the top of the central monthly range of the VRE. So we're talking about targets in the 68 and 69K areas. I forget the exact number, but it's above 69K for that monthly level. Could it hit that? It's certainly probable. I mean, or I should say, there certainly is a probability that it will. It doesn't mean that it will. It doesn't mean that it has to. It could easily go, for example, to that sell level again on the weekly that it hit yesterday and find sell pressure there again. Or even get close to it, not quite touch it, which is already done a few times since yesterday, come relatively close, and then come back down. But the last I saw, it was making a nice little move on the 15-minute to the upside. Again, I haven't looked at the chart in like an hour now, so I don't know exactly where it's at right this second, but you can certainly see it very clearly playing out on the VRE charts. You know, those levels are very strong price magnets. There's a reason we use that VRE chart at Alpha Trading. There's a reason we built the Alpha Trading VRE, and that we overlay it with Laplace and normal distributions on the 4-hour and the daily time frames. Right? And there's a reason we use the daily, weekly, and monthly time frames of the VRE, because those price levels are very strong magnets. It's also important to note that the top side of the central daily range has been tested today in the first hour of the day, and again a few hours ago. What does that mean? Well, it means it doesn't have to be tested again, even though you could consider it a very, very light test, because it really only spiked in there, like on the 15-minute with some wicks. You know, on the lower time frame, sure, yeah, it was in there for a few minutes at a time, but it really didn't test very much of it. But technically, it was inside the central daily range, so that is a kind of a test. In my book, that counts. And we've certainly seen plenty of days where that is more than enough for the asset to run one direction or the other. And like I said, today is a trending day on entropy. And also, the central daily range of the VRE is only around, I think, 0.74% of the asset's value, something around that. I mean, if you're looking at the index chart, depending on what exchange you're using, it might be 0.73%, 0.75%, but it's well under 1%, and certainly under 2%. So again, the probabilities are that it is a trending day. And by the way, yesterday, I told you guys in a video that yesterday was also probably a trending day. Even though it was still a fairly wide range, it was still underneath 2%, right? And I said that you could see that any trending moves might be capped. But what happened? We had trending moves all day, you know, on super low time frames, of course. But even on the 15-minute, when you had that big spiking trending move shortly after a traditional market open, what happened to that trending move? It got capped. Where? At a daily sell level, a weekly sell level, right? Which is also, I think, at a daily sell level, by the way, and a 4-hour, if I'm not mistaken. So it got capped, and then what happened to it? It shot right back down, continuing the trending move to the downside, where it quickly ended once it completed the mean reversion, and then began to climb back up. So you had trending moves up and down very, very quickly within a span of an hour and a half, literally, or an hour, you know, an hour and a half, whatever, pretty much an hour actually, but you could say an hour and a half, basically from the time we started our live stream. It was starting to move up before 9 a.m. Eastern time until around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, and the dump past the mean reversion ended shortly after that, and about 10 minutes after our stream ended, it began to climb its way back up. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that the VRE charts and the VEPS info is extremely accurate, and that's why when I tell you, you know, that a trending day can see its trends capped, and it might do things that appear to be ranges when in fact they're trending moves. That information is leading information and is highly accurate, and that's why we use it, right? So don't punk yourself thinking that you can outsmart the maths and the statistics and the probabilities of the VEPS. You probably can't. How do we know that? We know that because 99% of traders don't use anything like the VEPs, more than 99%. And the few who do are considered the smart money for a reason. So again, if you want to learn how to do that, come to our Discord, alphatradinghq.com/Discord. Get your free access to our volatility starter pack and learn to trade volatility, probabilities, and statistics. And hopefully we'll see you in the live stream starting at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time in the Discord or on our Rumble channel. Okay, that's it. Happy trading.